Okay, hello everyone. One. Okay, we can start today's session. Am I audible and visible to everyone? Can I have a thumbs up, please? Hello? Yes, uh, thank you. Okay, so hello everyone. I am Thayiba Ifhamdeen and today I'll be your English literature lecturer for the day. So I did my O-levels like two batches before y'all, O-level 2022, and yes, I chose English literature for my basket, and it has been wonderful selecting this subject, and I think you all have been enjoying this subject for the past 2 years as well. So today, our seminar is not just going to be based on notes, theory, and everything, because I'm going to convey to you all how I studied for the last 3 months uh, during my O levels. That's how this entire concept is based on. Your tute, what you have in your hand right now, is also based on that. So, yes. So first, let me just to start off with, to just break this silence and everything, to get you all engaging in this webinar. I know you all must be having a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff in your head now. If you all can just vent it out or just put it out into emojis and send out into the chat box to just break this silence, and we can start with this webinar with something interesting. If you all can send it through emojis, like all the stress you all have and whatever you all like feel right now. I know you all must be like under pressure because you all have like less than a month. So can we have some emojis on the chat box, please? Come on, guys, it's just for fun to keep the session engaging. No one's going to judge anyone. We're just going to study today. So, can we please do it? Come on, I expected more. I thought this is fun. It's nice. But I had only two people responding. What about the others? Not stressed at all? Chill? Oh, okay. Oh, someone's partying. Right. Okay, I think yes, that's good. Okay, I just got a lot of responses from the boys, and the girls are just silent. Why you're all ready? Yes, hope everyone is ready and prepared for the exams. I also pray for that. Okay, so that was a pretty good icebreaker, I guess. So now we are going to move on to the tute, and I'm going to explain what exactly will be your lesson for the day. So, first, we will be starting today's session is all about the poem, prose, and the dramas. Okay, so this is the entire concept that we're going to learn, and I have divided into two sections: poem as one section, and then the prose and the drama as the second section. So, you're going to be having 20 questions on the poem, and it's all going to be 5-minute questions, where I am going to time you all and give you all 5 minutes to answer each context, because when it comes to your literature paper, context is the only part that you can be sure about your marks. Essays, it's based on the examiner and the marking scheme and a lot of other stuff. But context is all about what you know and what you're going to write. And out of five, even like, point one mark is very important when it comes to the context. So today we are going to learn how to manage the time in the context questions, and how are we going to answer context questions, and how we're supposed to like learn the spellings and stuff when it comes to like even the A part is usually going to be about the name of the work and the lines, where the author of the lines. So we think that just one mark, and we don't like we actually leave it. We're careless about that. But that one mark also can change your result. You should have that in your mind every time when you do your literature paper, like at home when you're practicing, and your final paper also. So we're going to start with that, and then we will be moving on to the prose and the dramas, where it is going to be based on one center situation of the prose and the drama, which means like on what the entire story was constructed on. And we are going to do questions on that upon explaining uh, the theory of the prose and the drama. So I got your forms, and I have summarized on what I have to do today and for the second day. So for today, this is going to be the plan. This is going to be fun, and please try to be with me for the entire 3 hours. You'll be getting your break, and also every time you answer your five marks. Now this is going to be 5 marks, right? You know how your context question marking scheme works. So this is going to be 5 marks, and according to the mark you get, you're going to color these 2 pages. And the one who you guys are supposed to send me pictures of your pages after we finish this seminar today, to see who has actually like done the work. So please be honest also at the same time. uh, yes. So are you guys ready? Can we have a thumbs up? Yes, so this is going to be more of a game kind of a session, so please be involved. Right. I will be having a timer at the background, and you will be hearing the sound of it most probably. So make sure that you stop writing, and then I will explain the theory to you. We are going to do one by one question and explain. That's how it's going to be, and exactly 5 minutes and no more, not even a second more than that. Okay. So let's start with this question. Your time starts now. If you're done, you can also like put a thumbs up in the chat box. Yeah. Only one person done? 2 minutes more. Right. Okay. Time up. Please stop. So hope you all have stopped because I'm going to discuss, and please mark do the corrections and mark it. Okay. Okay. So here we go. First of all, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. So yes, these lines are taken from the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So I haven't written it in full form, but you're supposed to write it in the full form. These lines are taken from the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Very important, with I, K, W, K, C, B, S. All of this has to be in capital, and only the T has to be in simple. Written by Maya Angelou. So M and A has to be in capital. I have underlined it in red because you have to be very considerate when it comes to writing the name of the poem and the poet. Second question, identify a literary device from the above lines. It shows symbolism, and you have to write the literary device symbolism, and you should write what shows the symbolism. That's the caged bird, that is yearning for freedom. So basically, caged bird means about yearning for freedom, independence, and not being restricted to one place. Okay, so you should write both symbolism and caged bird. Only then you'll get that one whole mark. So 1 mark for the first question and 1 mark for the uh, one 1 mark for this. 1 mark for this. Then the third question: what does the tune of the caged bird symbolize? So you have to always write complete answers. You have to write the tune of the caged bird symbolizes hope, resistance, and desire for freedom. If you have written any one of it, you will get 1 mark. Any one with the entire sentence. Okay, please make sure you're marking it right. You have to write one of it with as an entire sentence. Complete sentences are only accepted in literature. So please be careful when you're writing your answers. Then the B question, what emotions are conveyed through these lines? So last question of any context when you're writing, please make sure you at least mention 2 to 3 points, because examiners are going to be very specific on what points they're going to give marks for. So if you have 3 points that you can give that are accurate for this situation, write it. It's okay if you don't have space, and if you go out of space, no worries at all. Write it because you'll get mark. And just because you write an extra one, you won't, they won't reduce mark also. So if you think it's well accurate for the situation, write it. Okay. So you can write that the emotions of hope, longing for freedom, pain, and determination to somehow be free, go far away, and live their lives on their terms. And so this reflects the suffering of imprisonment as well as strong yearning for freedom. So if you have written something that is related to this, you can give yourself 2 marks. Make sure you have the words hope, longing for freedom, pain, determination. If you have any two from these four, you can give 2 marks with proper explanation. Okay? So that's a 2 mark here. Did everyone understand this? Yes. Okay, so as this is the first question, let's just go for a mark roundup. So anyone who got 5 for this question? Hands up, please. Raise your hands. Okay, very good. One person. Anyone else? 5? Okay, very good. I don't know who the Zoom user is, but very good. And Hafiza, very good. And no one else. Okay, very good. Then 4 out of 5. Asif, very good. And FIFA. Tariq also got 4. Anyone else 4? No? Okay. 3. Manal has got 3. Okay. Very good, guys. Keep this momentum going and make sure you get your score target for each of your contacts should be 3 to 5 only. You can't go less than that. Okay. So yes, then we'll be moving on to the next question. I'll be sharing the timer this time. Okay. Um. Okay. Not sure. Did I just show the answers? Okay. I hope Robinson. Okay. Wait. Your time starts now. If anyone is done, you can text. Okay, we have one person done. If we have three people done, we can go for the discussion. New role inserted. Two more. We have another person. The time will keep reducing when we go, gradually from question from 5 minutes are keeping decreasing. Sorry, not increasing. Right, three people done. I stop the timing. We're going for the discussion. Everyone pens down. Right. So we are going to the discussion. So the next poem we have. Up there he's a king on throne, but at home you should hear him moan. Right. Very much known poem. The Clown's Wife by Johnson Agard. Again, check if your spellings are right, if you have written the correct capitals, and if you have written the name properly. If you have done everything as exact it is, then 1 mark. Next question. Why does he mourn at home despite being powerful elsewhere? So, the basis of this poem is that the clown is considered to be a very fun, joyful person on the stage. But at home, he's somebody who's like deeply saddened and like a person who hates his personal life. But when it comes to his profession, he's like the king, according to how the poem explains. So, we can write and here, although he is important and dominant outside, at home he's emotionally weak and unhappy. So we have that thing with clowns that they have the guts, all the the thing to come and make others happy, but sometimes personally deep down they are really sad. So this entire poem explains how his wife, the clown's wife, tries to kind of encourage him and maybe make him happy from her side. Okay, so that is what it means. So if you have written about how he's his outside how he is and inside how he is, if you have given both the comparison over here, then you get one whole mark. Okay, please make sure you're marking it right. This is how they're marking the exam, so please make sure you're right because you have to keep doing this. So the next question, who is referred to as he? The clown. That 1 mark if you write the clown, or if you just write clown also, it's okay. Then, how do these lines help to develop the overall meaning of the poem? So, I already explained how it contrasts between the public image and the private reality of the clown, how he has been on stage and how he is at home. So, if you show that contrast here, showing a few other emotions, like outward how he is powerful and successful, but inside he is not happy. He is more like depressed, stressed out of his own life. If you have used those words, then you will get 2 marks. You have to mention two different sides of the clown. So if you have done that, then you get a whole 2 marks. And let me know if you have finished marks. Okay, so if you all have finished marking, can I know anyone who got 5 out of 5? We'll do it once more. Just raise your hands, that will be enough. 1, 5. Okay, it's okay. Then anyone 4? Yes, very good, Anna. 3. Okay. Abdul Haq also got four. Very good. Three, anyone? Afiza got three. Okay. Okay. Very good. So now we are going on to the next question, but you will be getting only 3 minutes for this question. I told we'll be decreasing time because we have to learn how to manage the time also during the paper. This makes it more fun. And also, I forgot to say, if you have, while marking and stuff, when there's a break between I'm talking, if you have got more than three, you can go and color. Okay, please do color to make it colorful. I didn't want to make it colorful by myself. I'm leaving it up to you all because it's your too cute. You're going to study for the next few days. So you color it and make it beautiful for you to learn it. Right. Okay. You have 3 minutes. So your time starts now. I have kept the timer for 5 minutes, but you have only 3 minutes, huh? Come on, guys, quickly make your pens. Last 1 minute. No one done yet. Stop. Stop writing, guys. Okay. Give me a minute, please. Right. Sorry about the small pause. Right. So, can someone now? I'm giving you all the opportunity to answer. Can someone tell me what this poem is? He glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all abroad. They looked like frightened beads, I thought. Can someone tell me what poem this is, please? Than me being the one answering all the time? someone answered. Very good. Anyone else? I got only one response. You can unmute and answer, or if not, leave it in the chat box, please. I need some interaction here. Right, I got another response. Okay. Yes, see, so there's a mistake there. It's a bird came down the walk. A bird came down the walk by Emily Dickinson. So A, B, C, D, and then W has to be in capital, and the T of the has to be in simple. Please check your spellings, and also Emily Dickinson, her name, spellings plus the capitals. If you have got everything right, you can give 1 mark to yourself. And then identify one word or phrase that shows fear or nervousness. What do you? Okay, I have given the answer, but the answer is looked like frightened beads. Why do you think so? That one is the word that shows nervousness. Can someone tell me why? Because I gave you the word, I mean the phrase, but you have to tell me why. What if they add that as a question in your paper sometimes? Can someone give me an explanation? Because frightened. Yeah, because frightened. That's there in the phrase. I'm asking why frightened. That's the question. Why is the bird frightened? Okay, I wait till someone replies. Because of the man. Okay, almost there. Because it's a bird scared of big humans. You guess. Yes. Okay. Very good. Yes, because of the the interaction with a human is scaring the bird, and that is why it keeps looking here and there, scared and not knowing what will happen the next moment. It looks at a person as a predator. That's how it looks. That's why it's scared at that point. Okay. So I just asked the phrase because it's a 1 mark question in the exam paper. If they ask why, be ready to answer. Okay. So yes, I have asked you to fill the fourth line. He stirred his velvet head. Make sure you know your poems also. At least memorize the ones that you are very much familiar with, you very much like, and all those. So all of those, at least try to memorize and know the lines. Then, what comparison is made in this line? They looked like frightened beasts. What is the comparison? Is a question. So first of all, frightened beads are compared to the bird's eyes. That is one point that you have to mention. If you have mentioned it, give 1 mark. Okay. And now the eyes are compared. But what is shown in the eye to prove that it's fear? That's the next point. That is because those are small, round, shiny, and eyes full of fear that's just looking here and there with nervousness and alert, always alerted, like around what's happening around me because of the presence of humans. This is the second point. If you have mentioned both of these points, you can give 2 marks. If not, only one is mentioned, 1 mark, nothing is mentioned, 0. The last question is always critical in a context question. This is where everyone lose marks. So please make sure you learn it while writing. Okay. So I think we are done with that question. And then we are going on to the next question. So your time starts now. Time up. Stop. So the next question: the wrinkles see beneath him crawls. He watches from his mountain walls. Easiest and almost like my favorite poem when it comes to the entire like 20. I have like three poems. My favorite. This is one because this is something that you can write about. Even though if it's a very small poem, you can write a good essay on this if you have understood the deep meaning of this poem. So yes, this is the poem "The Eagle" by Alfred Lord Tennyson. So "The Eagle," okay? T has to be capital, E has to be capital. Then Alfred Lord Tennyson, A has to be capital, L has to be capital, and T has to be capital. If yes, please give yourself 1 mark. Yes. Then next, who is referred to as him in these lines? Can someone tell who is referred to as him? Yes, very good, Abdul Haq. Yes, it's the eagle. Good, good. Then next, identify the figure of speech used in the wrinkled sea. So, figure of speech. Interesting topic. Do you all know all the literary devices and figure of speech like that theory part? Are you all okay with, familiar with? To you can find on your own. If you can, then tell me what's there in wrinkled sea. What is the figure of speech used? Um, Guys, I'm waiting for a response. Figure of speech in the wrinkled sea. Everyone sleeping after lunch? Tell me what you wrote. You guys had 3 minutes to write, no? I'm waiting for a response. What is the figure of speech used in the wrinkled sea? I need a response. No one's responding. So the wrinkled sea is giving personification. Okay? Because a wrinkled is something that humans get. We get wrinkles when we get old. So they are telling that the sea is getting wrinkles over here, the wrinkled sea. So sea is a non-living thing, and when it is given something, when it is explained in a way of giving life to it, then that literary device is called personification. So over here, the wrinkled sea symbolizes personification. Okay, did you all get it? Because I didn't get a response from anyone. Did you all understand? Yes, thumbs up. Okay. And check out if you have written everything right and give yourself your marks. This is one, then this is another mark. And if you have written personification, that's more than enough for now for me. Okay, next question. What impression do these lines give about the eagle's power or authority? So that you can write a lot. And if you have written like the power, the majesticity, then the dominance and strength, if you have mentioned those words and explained about the eagle overall, then you can get 2 marks. Okay, make sure you mention at least two of power, from the words power, strength, majestic, powerful, dominance. If you have mentioned at least two of these four words, make sure you get 2 marks and explain about the eagle from these lines and the words. Okay? So I just highlight the words so that you know. So, any two words? Okay, India. Okay, everyone. I hope you all have finished marking this because we're moving on to the next question. Okay, next question. Your time starts now. Time up, please stop. Right, okay. So we are going to the next question now. Okay, before I start, anyone who likes this poem, you know, this entire the meaning and how it brings out, anyone who likes this poem, I would like to know if anyone who likes this poem and like learning this. No one. No one likes this poem. Okay, actually, I also somewhat don't like it because, I mean, It's a nice poem, but you have to deeply understand the meaning of each and every word. And I saw in your forms that most of you all had requested for this poem. So I thought maybe like even you all don't show much of preference for this poem. Okay, let's start. First of all, tell me if I'm talking about this poem. So what is this poem? What is this poem? Guys, come on. Now I'm going to ask you all to do some warm ups from your places. This is a fun game. We're doing it in type of game, so I need like, responses as soon as I ask. Only then this is fun. So what's this poem name? What's the name of the poem? Okay. I got an answer from Farik. He's the one who's responding. The others all asleep after a heavy night lunch. Okay. Okay, now except Farik, can someone tell me? Anyone else with the poet's name? Okay, Anna. She has responded. Poet's name? William Blake. Okay, yes. So this is the poem To the Evening Star by William Blake. Right. Talk so much to get you all to answer. To the Evening Star by William Blake. Check out your spellings and where you'll have to use your capitals and give yourself a mark. So, and what action is being requested in these lines? What action? The evening star is requested to spread gentle dew over the flowers as night falls, allowing them to rest peacefully. If you all have written something regarding spreading and have to rest peacefully, if you all have mentioned those two, then you all can give 1 mark. Okay, so that is the word spread and rest peacefully. If you all have constructed the sentences using these words, then yes, you can give a mark. What atmosphere or mood is created by this line? So you can either mention the atmosphere or the mood. If you have mentioned calm, peaceful, and smoothing atmosphere, any one word or two word mentioning the word atmosphere, then yes, you can give yourself 1 mark. And using you have to mention specifically what you're mentioning. Okay, atmosphere or mood. You have to specifically mention. If it's the atmosphere means you have to mention the word atmosphere. Mood, rest, gentleness, quiet. You have to mention that also. Only then 1 mark. No giving for just writing, the words only. Okay. Then we are asking for the literary devices and name them. So we can say two literary devices. If you all have written any of it, it's right. So personification for curtains, they said that the sky is the one having the curtains here. Obviously, sky is something that is, blue curtains of the sky. They are mentioned. They are, they are giving that like how to say flowy effect for the sky. So that's why they use personification here. And also shut their sweet eyes. Shut shut its sweet eyes. So flowers don't have eyes to shut the eyes, and they're personifying it there. And then a metaphor blue curtains of the sky. Okay, so these are the literary devices in these lines. If you have mentioned anyone with the example, you can, yeah, I mean, like the literary device and the example, 1, 1, 2 marks. Right, are we done with this? Can we have a hand, can you raise your hands if you are done marking? Participants. Okay, we have 3, 4. Come on, everyone, put your hands up if you are done. We're done with 5 questions, which is basically 25 marks that you all have done. Before I call out by names, please raise your hands. We still have more. Right. So, how are you all feeling about these five questions? Are you all okay? Is it fun? Is it fun to do? Are you finding it helpful? Because I have more other stuff to include for the next few questions, like, few more challenges to include. So, I have to know if you're all okay. Right. Yes, happy to see you all following up. Then, here are the next five questions that we are going to target. So now I'm not going to change the time because that's 3 minutes is a very less amount of time I can give. But something that I can do now is that if three people are done within 3 minutes, like within the three before the time limit ends, and if at least two to three are done, I will stop the timer and we will be going to the discussion. Okay? So your time starts now. Raise your hands if you all have finished the question. Do we already have two people done? The hands up. Come on, guys. Let's do it. Faster, faster. Okay, one person done. Okay. Is Abdul Rahman also done? My hand has been up. Okay. Stop, stop. Time up. We have three people. Okay. Starting off with a question. Yes, very sarcastic poem. Very much heartbreaking. And, it makes us hate the idea of war. So this poem is War is Kind by Stephen Crane. Okay, so War is Kind, when you're writing, make sure you have written all the capitals right. W, A, S, and C. It should be as it is. War is Kind by Stephen Crane. Check the spellings of Stephen. It has to be Stephen, no AN, and no E at the end. So your spelling has to be very accurate. No mark. Second question. What scene is described in the line, a field where 1,000 corpses lie? So yes, it describes a battlefield after a war covered with dead bodies of soldiers. So very, very heartbreaking scene to see when you see a lot of people who have been, killed on a battlefield, and this is how and the using the line "a field where 1,000 corpses lie" is how it has been defined. If you have used the words battlefield, war, dead bodies of soldiers, all these three are important to get 1 mark. Okay. Yes. So why is the statement "war is kind" considered ironic? Can someone tell me why is it ironic? Out of everything, why irony? Out of all the literary devices you have, why is it considered ironic? Can someone tell me? I'm expecting some answers. Meaning the opposite. Yes, how is he? Okay, who is this? Idea correct, Farik. Like he's meaning the opposite, but why does it mean the opposite? Anna has given the this thing because the boy is not kind and the speaker is being very sarcastic. Yes, because war is something that is filled with rage, with anger, with revenge, and the poet mentions or the speaker mentions it to be kind, which is like total opposite of what it actually is. Okay, that is why it's considered ironic. So if you have mentioned the contrast, and if you have mentioned about you can if you have mentioned sarcasm as a word, then you can get 1 mark. And if you've explained it in full sentences, okay. War causes death and pain, but here they mention it to be kind, using irony to criticize the war. To criticize the war and the results of war, they have used irony here. So if you have mentioned about criticism, sarcasm, and how it's ironically said it's kind, though it causes pain. So if you have mentioned these, 2 marks. If not, no marks. When you all have problems with your marking, you all can text and ask me if I can get a mark for this. Okay, don't just because my answer is, you don't have your answers in mind, don't go on putting wrongs. Sometimes it might be right, just the idea is different. So if you feel like I can get a mark, you can ask me. Okay. Right. Last question. Sorry, this is 1 mark. See, sorry. C question is 1 mark if you have mentioned these words. Last question. Identify the figure of speech used in heart humble as a button and explain what it meant. So simile, we know because the word "as" is used, and they have compared. Yes, the poet used the term "voice" meant to give a different voice. Yes, that is also right. To give a different approach to listeners, because people will be really like curious as to why this poet is trying to bring out that voice kind, and it will begin the curiosity of the listeners for them to learn about the war, because war is something that's terrible, not only physically but mentally. It affects a lot of people too, even though they have not been a part of a war, right? So I hope I answered the question, Farik. Then moving on to B part again, simile. So we know that the word "as" is used, and heart is compared to button in this, so we consider it as a simile. And why is it explained like that? Because it describes about a fragile heart of a mother who's lost her son due to a war. Sometimes some wars are like not meant to be fought. It's just done for the sake of doing a war. So she has lost her son for something she doesn't know about, or she has no link with it. Her son has no link to it, but she's lost. So she's broken, filled with grief, not knowing what to do next. Okay. So if you have explained any of it, 1 mark for mentioning the literary device and the explanation. Can we write the mother's heart is not noticed until it is broken? Mother's heart is not noticed until it is broken. I fear like because over here it's not about realizing the mother's heart. It's about what happened to her after the loss of the son. So you're telling that the mother you're making the mother the main picture here. So I will not consider that as an answer. You can tell that maybe the mother's heart is not noticed until she mourns over the son, like over the dead son. A mother's heart is not understood. When the son must have not understood no his mother's feelings before going to a war. So you can bring out that idea, that perspective of the poem. So yes, if you have mentioned any of this 1 mark, and explanation 1 mark. If you have anything to write down, also I can write down. Right, I can give that like 10 seconds to quickly like jot down anything you want. Okay. Next question. Uh, yes. Your time starts now. Again, same rule. If 2 or 3 have done, I'm moving on. One. Stop. Okay, tell me what's the poem? Let's see. Y'all are pretty much used to the method now. So let's see. As soon as I ask if y'all are texting, or maybe like at least, you know, unmuting and talking. Okay, I got one answer. That was quick. Very good. Only that one? Okay. You missed the M. Okay. Yeah, we got another response. Properly texted. Very good. Right. I keep getting responses like from 2 to 3 people only. That should not happen. Yes, 2 people have given me proper, with the proper capitals, comma, and everything. Very good. Yeah, the name. So it's The Terrorist, comma, he is watching by Vislava Sizimboska. Nice name, no? Right. I used to like laugh when I was studying, whenever we study this poem. I used to laugh at the name, but have to learn, no? Can't keep laughing. Right, okay. So see your spellings. I have underlined it with the red, and make sure you have this comma and have this apostrophe. Very important. And Sizimboska, the name. Make sure you write it correct, okay? Because it's a very this name and there's another name that's like kind of hard to write, so you might get confused if you get questions on this. So make sure you have it clear in your head. What does the speaker mean by the girl's gone? Can someone explain me this scenario? Because it's a very nice part of the poem. Can someone explain me what happens in this scenario? Like what was happening and why did the speaker say this and stuff? Can someone just explain? I'm partly revising all the poems also, so respond please. Okay, the bus stops in front of me and the bus is gone. Okay, but what happens before that? What is the position of the speaker when he's saying this, and where is he looking at? What is happening when, this girl coming entering the scene? What is happening there? I need that. It's partially right, but you have given the conclusion part, Farik. No one else? Okay, he is away from the bar in a safe. Okay, very good. Position cleared. So he actually sees the girl coming and almost standing at the entrance of the bar. But when he saw a bus coming and the bus covered the girl. So he couldn't get a good view if the girl went inside or she just, got into the bus and went. Yes, correct. You can remember the ribbon color. Very good. So this happened, and he's not sure now. Is it 1 minute? Okay, sorry about that small inconvenience. Yes, it's a green ribbon, by the way. But yeah, I stopped. Okay. So he didn't know if the girl went inside or got into the bus and left. So he was feeling like, okay, let's see when she comes out. So which means that maybe after, like, she comes out as a dead body, let's see if she actually went in. So that shows the speaker's inhumanity of ready to kill people just for his own pleasure. Okay, and obviously these this didn't have a proper reason. Then we're here, right? So that was the answer for that. Now tell me, what does the word dumb suggest about the speaker's attitude? Yes, lack of empathy. Yes, good. And the answer is yes. So it shows his cold, judgmental, rude attitude, like taking lives very casual without knowing how valuable it is. So you can mention about that. And yes, lack of empathy is right. Speaker's cold, judgmental, rude attitude, taking the girl's life casually. 1 mark. If you have mentioned any of this, or if you have not mentioned girls, but commonly you have mentioned all the lives in the location, yes, you get the mark. This you can write, yes, the girl has entered, either the girl has entered the building unaware of the danger, or you can write it in the another point of view. You can write, the girl's gone. The speaker is not sure if she entered or if she left the place. So you can write any one of it and you will get 1 mark. There are two scenarios here not to be considered. You can write any one of it. Are you all there? Is it clear? Yes, okay. Last question. Why is the final line we'll see when they carry them out particularly shocking? So that carries the entire poem in the shoulders, that line, because it shows the result. It shows the result expected by the speaker of the poem at the end of what he has achieved. His goal was achieved. Now, to see if his goal is achieved, this is the line that shows. We'll see when they carry them out. That is his aim. So the final line is shocking because it refers casually to the death, portraying the speaker's lack of humanity. If you have mentioned um, death and speaker's lack of humanity, empathy, or anything like that, explaining why the final line is shocking. And if you have any other answers, please forward it. I can see, because there's a lot of things that you can write on this. This is what I wrote. According to me, this is how it goes. If you all have any point of views, you can send it. I can see if it's right or not. I hope everyone is doing, because only like 2 or 3 people are responding and being active. This is very important, and this is how your paper is going to be for you. This is like you're doing your O-level paper. So make sure you're doing it honestly and being interactive throughout. Okay. Can I have some other answers, please? No one has doubt. I take it as a no. And I'm going to the next question. Oh, sorry. The poem. Yes, your time starts now. But no one. You are not competing enough. Come on, quickly. Last 30 seconds. Who can finish? At least one person, then I'll go for it. Okay, done. One person. Stop, everyone. Okay. Uh, interesting poem. It's not like murder, right? What we are discussing now? Right. And long will stand the empty plate and dinner will be cold. Uh, can someone tell it properly, like how this poem's name should be written? Because there's a lot of ways we can, written. That's wrong. Like some write farewell to the barn and stack and tree. Farewell to the barn, stack and tree. So I told the name. So can someone properly type and send me the name with the spellings and everything, and also the poet's name? We'll see how it's going. Yeah. I'm waiting. Okay. I got one response. Poet's name? Yes. So it's farewell to barn, stack. Wait, I think you also wrote it wrong. Yeah. It's wrong, Farid. Farewell to barn and stack and tree. It has to be there twice. And FBST. All four of these have to be in capitals and by A.E. Houseman. That's right. Houseman, A, not E. Correct those mistakes. Right. So here's your answer. Farewell to barn and stack and tree by A.E. Houseman. What situation has caused the plate to remain empty? Someone who likes to talk about this. Can someone tell me? I can correct if my answer is also wrong, okay? Because even I answered this, like how you all are answering it now. So you all can correct if my answers are wrong, and you can ask questions based on my answers as well. So tell me, what situation has occurred? I'm sorry. What situation has caused the plate to remain empty? What situation? Something must have happened, right? What happened? I can't remember. Tell me, someone. I forgot. Killed his own brother and he has to leave. So, leaving because he's what? He's guilty, he's happy, he's, proud about what he did. Like, what kind of this thing? I've given the answer, so I hope you can at least see that and answer. Give me some answers. Guilty. Main thing is because he's guilty. So, what situation has caused the plate to remain? It's because the person who is to eat the meal is either absent or not coming forever. So, I didn't use the word was killed here because we specifically don't know if we are going to talk about the speaker or his brother here. So, I just told that the person who's supposed to have the meal is absent. So, either way, it's the speaker or the brother. Both of them are absent, anyways. So, that is why I put absent, because we are not sure how the examiners are going to expect answers from us. We better put it like, not signing to anything. If you have any other answers, you all can put it to me. I am getting response only from Farik. Can someone else also respond? Can others also please interact? Right. Next question Yes, so meal is absent or not there, not coming, something like that, you can give 1 mark. Right. What do these lines suggest about waiting, absence, or loss? So, as already said, guilt should be there. Then you can talk about loneliness, grief, sad, all of those. If you have mentioned any three emotions, you can get 1 mark in a full sentence, okay? I have written it in a short form because I am explaining the stuff. You have to write it as a complete sentence to get the complete mark. You don't get marks only for points. You write it in complete sentences. Explain the situation described in these lines in your own words. Okay, these are my own words. Can I have someone else's own words? Yes, I need own words. I have to check how your own words answers are because if you help me to correct you, you can correct it in the exam. So it's okay, whatever you have written, just put it in the chat box. I'll send the response to you. Too long, lazy to type. So okay, unmute. Can you unmute your mics and talk then? Right. Too lazy to do that also then. Okay, you all take your time, type slowly and send in the chat box. I'll go to the next part and I can correct the answers then, but I'll tell you my answer. So basically, that he'll no longer return for dinner upon his guilt, killing his own brother, which shows emotional emptiness and separation. So you can write no longer return, killing his own brother, emptiness, separation, guilt. You have added. You can get 2 marks. 1 mark for no longer returning, and 1 mark if so 1 mark for no longer returning and killing his own brother. If you have written both of these, 1 mark. If you have written any of the emotion, 1 mark. Okay, I hope you all will like type and put your answers meanwhile because we're going for a break now. Now you have a 5 minute break, 5 to 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. Don't be very late. We have more to do. We have only finished 8 questions and we have 12 more to go. So more, I will be, the time limit will be reducing from the next few questions. So please be prepared with your pens and this thing. And during the break, if you all can color according to your marks, 3 to 5 if you have got for the questions. Color and keep your pages. And if you all can send a picture to me in the chat box, I want to see how the progress has been happening this 1 hour, 1.5 hour. Okay. So it's 3:33 now and your break starts now. So by 3:43, be here. I hope everyone's back. Can I have a thumbs up, please, if everyone is back at their seats? Yeah. So during the break, I got only one response for the previous question, and I didn't get any images. Okay, anyways, hope you guys are refreshed. Hope you have walked here and there without scrolling through YouTube or anything. So we'll be continuing. Question number 9. Uh, yes. Okay, I'll be sharing the time only as you have the it with you for the answers when discussing. I will do, and now your time is still 3 minutes until we are done with 10 questions. So your time starts now. Anyone done? 1% done. Right. Okay. So I hope most of you all know what this poem is. Without a word, without a look. These are the last 2 lines of the poem Breakfast, written by Jacques. What surname? Anyone? Can someone only type that and send? Because, oh, okay. Yes, Jacques what? Very good. Revert. Okay. So, next. I'll show you the marking scheme and then you can see how it's written. But I'll go to the next question. What action takes place without a word and without a look? So this is the conclusion of the poem where it comes when the man leaves the house without a word or without a look at the woman. So it's a conflict based poem, themed based poem, and you know that there's a conflict between the husband and the wife, and they have been in the same room for pretty much their breakfast time, and they didn't converse, they didn't talk to each other. So the woman has been worrying about this case, but she herself didn't let go and make start the conversation either. So the man just continued to be himself, and at the end, he just left the house without even a word or a look at the woman. Right? So she is personally very much, saddened by this act, but she didn't also at the same time let go of her ego and make the first step in to compromise. So man also not understanding his wife's feelings just went on with his anger and left the house. So this is the overall summary of the poem. Okay. So what you're supposed to write. Yeah, see, this is nice. Okay. Without a word, without a look. So anyone who doesn't know where it is. Breakfast by Jacques Prévert. Check the spellings. 1 mark. If everything is right. The man leaving the room silently without speaking or looking at the woman. If you write both, leaving silently, leaving the room. Very important, leaving the room silently, because without speaking, without looking, it's already in the lines. What I need in the answer is leaving the room silently. This has to be there for 1 mark. What do these lines reveal about the relationship between the characters? So it actually, I explained it in the overall summary, like how they don't have their own communication process. They're a couple and they're supposed to have not have a communication barrier. So that was not there in that relationship, and also not knowing how to convey their emotions to each other. So these two things were not there in their relationship. So you can write this in the negative form to show about the relationship. So if you have written anything related to this, write. And if you have any other answers, you can send it to me. I will check. D question. How do these lines help to develop the overall message of the poem? So I have pretty much, I'm repeating the same thing again. So line emphasizes on the messages. So I have given a set of messages that's portrayed through this poem. If you have written any two of it, you'll get 2 marks. Okay. Communication barrier, separation, ego, silence, suffering, and keeping on, like, they continue to fight even like without taking the first step towards compromising. So if you have written any two, you can get 2 marks. If you have any other answers, please put it in the chat box. I will reply as I responded to your previous messages. Okay, so then we will be going on. This is 1 mark. Emotional distance, breakdown of communication. Yeah, I did get. The focus wearing beginners went out in the rain through the raincoat. Okay, so you don't have to be very much complicated mentioning about focal character or protagonist, and you can't specifically tell according to this poem he is a protagonist, because in his point of view the wife will be like, I'm telling, like, you can't tell he's the the main picture of the poem, because the wife also shares an equal stage in this screen time in this poem. So don't mention protagonist, maybe mention the man or the husband. You can mention the husband, no issues. Relationship is rather strained, alienated, lack of communication, and egoistic. That's all good. C part, you can give 1 mark completely. These lines bring out the overall themes such as loneliness, detachment from women. Okay. D also, you can give 2 marks. You've mentioned the themes. Make sure you explain. If you select two messages, make sure you explain. Obviously, last question also they're going to give you only 2 lines, but you can exceed. Last question you have to exceed the 2 lines because you have to explain what you're writing. Only then 2 marks. Okay. Literature, that part is not easy to get marks. Trust me, it's not. Okay. Make sure you explain the 2 mark question, because Just think practically. The first question when they're asking you for the poem's name and the poet's name, it's a 1 mark thing. They are asking you to be very specific in the spellings, capitals, name, comma, apostrophe, everything to get that one whole mark. Because no half marks, no quarter marks. Then just imagine how strict they will be with the 2 mark question if they are fighting so much for one. So make sure you do justice to the 2 mark. Okay? Then next question. We can start. I think it's, yeah, 10th question. So I'll share the timer. Your time starts now. Please put up your messages, okay? I can read it meanwhile also. I mean, write, do your answers. Stop, stop writing. Right. Moving on to our next question. Once upon a time, son, they used to laugh with their hearts. Okay, so as I told you at the beginning of the seminar, I told I have 3 favorite poems. The Eagle, and this is the second one. Once upon a time, a very beautiful message brought out by this poem about how the society is today and how it was, years back. So it's like a lot of years back. Okay. So this is one poem that is deeply like, it relates personally also to most of us, because this is like how sometimes we also yearn to be like this, but in this prevailing situation, we can't. So this poem really makes us right. And also, I forgot to mention this important point. Now we have done 10 questions, and you all must be already preparing to write for essays. So we will not be doing essays for poems in our seminar, but I will be giving all tips on how you all should write essays for poems, because poem writing essay is different from prose, drama, and novel, because all of them belong to one. You have to quote lines and you have to write. But poem is not like that, no. So I just take 5 minutes and explain that and then go to this discussion. Okay, if not, I'll forget. So when you're writing a poem, explain 1 minute. Just tell me how many examples you'll use on a regular basis when you all do poem. Someone tell me on a regular basis how many examples you write for a poem. 4 examples. Okay. No one's drawing on the board. No one else? How many examples do you all? Okay. So when you consider a poem, make sure you go to 5 to 6 examples. Okay. Because your essay is going to be out of 15 marks. You have to make sure it's worth it. And basically, on personal note, I wrote for 3 sides. 5 to 6 examples, 3 sides completely. Because I was aiming for 13 to 15 marks per essay. This was my aim. Because it was like this, I know that I have to write a lot and I have to give examples proving. Because they see how much you're proving the question and how you have organized it. So when it comes to poem lines are small in some poems and some lines are small, so it's easy to memorize also. You don't have to memorize the entire poem. You can just memorize, how do I say, 2 lines, maybe from each stanza. And but you can explain the entire stanza, because when you're writing 2 lines, you can do the dot work and you know that you're writing the entire stanza. Yeah, I know time management is an issue, but that is why I'm doing this entire context part, because I minimize time. My sir who I joined to, he helped me to minimize time in context so that I can do more essays. And trust me, I was able to write even for novel 6 examples at the end. Like, I thought I will lose time, but I had 10 minutes extra also to check my paper. So time management happens according to how well you know the theory. And if you follow this method that I'm giving you, you will be able to manage, but manage the paper. And you won't be disappointed. You'll be happy and content with what you are doing with the paper. So set a goal for your essay marks and have a clear mind. Okay, I'm going to write this many points no matter what. Have your lines ready. If you're going to write 5 examples, have two lines memorized. Okay, and try to write at least 7 lines of a proper description, explanation, including the important points. Don't just go on explaining. Get to the point straight away. Because if you go on explaining irrelevant stuff and then come to the point, then there's a time management issue. Like, you write a proper introduction saying that this poem is like this, like that, and then you come to the poem, the point that you want to prove, you're wasting time. In the first line itself, mention what you're trying to say. And the next few lines also should be about what you're trying to prove. It's not about anything else. Don't write about the poem's history, author's history. Don't do any of this for introduction, because introduction is only like half or 1 mark out of the entire 15 marks. What you need for introduction is the poem's name, poet's name, the theme, because in the textbook we already have the theme names. Mention the theme and just give a one line explanation about what the entire poem is about. One line is enough. I know, like, our English can work up to that, right? So this is how the essay for a poem should be structured, and how you're going to explain. And try to bring in the literary devices that's there in those lines that you're mentioning to prove the point in the description itself. Only these will help. So I hope you all took notes of what I said. I just took the whiteboard to write and show. So first of all, make sure you have your poem lines memorized. Then make sure you mention literary devices and explain if there is. Then make sure introduction is small and simple. Give a conclusion proving all your points. This has to be your structure for your essay. Don't stress about the time before starting your paper. That's going to kill you till the end. You start doing your paper knowing that you have time, you know all the answers in that paper. That's the confidence that you should have. No overconfidence or anything, that you can do the paper in the allocated time. You can write whatever you are planning to do. That's how you do the literature paper. Okay, is that clear to everybody? Can I have a thumbs up? Yes, I hope you all have. Did you all take notes? I just cut the whiteboard already. Okay. Okay, nice to see that everyone has got it. So we'll be continuing with the answer discussion. Okay, yes, I got the answer for the poem and the poet's name, Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Okara. So very important when it comes to this name. I have boxed the name because you have two Gabriels in this set of poem list that they have given you. Both of them are different because one is Gabriel and Gabriela. So that's like different names with different spellings. Don't get confused. Gabriel Okara is for Once Upon a Time. Okay, check the spellings. Check if you've written the correct Gabriel. 1 mark. Then who are referred to as they. So you can say people of the society in the past, or people who the speaker used to live in the past, or maybe people like the speaker in the past. Any of the same idea but in different words, if you have put it correct. 1 mark. No other answers now? No. Then how is this way of laughing different from the present situation described in the poem? So over here you have to contrast the two laughs. The past laugh that was genuine, honest, and had a good meaning to it, and the present laugh that's false, fake, artificial, revengeful. So you should mention the contrast between the two laughs. If you have mentioned, only 1 mark. Both if you have mentioned. The contrast has to be mentioned. Make sure you mark it properly, okay? What theme of the poem is introduced through these lines? So if you have mentioned anything about, social negligence or social hypocrisy, then, consistency of that sincerity, or like that life before, anything of that, if you have mentioned the theme, and if you just, using one line, if you have explained how, then write. Yes. No, don't mention past Africans and stuff. No, don't, because it's not only past Africans, because they are mentioning about the whole humankind. Okay, So don't specify anything, okay? Don't specify any country, culture, anything when it comes to these questions, please. That's wrong. But what you have told referring to past society, that's right. One-hearted nature and their genuine emotions, a feeling of forgotten presence. Okay, compared to the past, yes. Okay. No, no. See, question: how is this way of laughing different from present situation? Because of, yeah, compared to the present. Okay, at the end of the sentence, it should have been compared to the present. In the past, only they had genuine emotions and feelings. These lines introduce the theme of the influence of Western culture, the genuine and goodwill of the past people face as a word when laughing. Okay, yes, you get 2 marks for the D part also. See, only I get responses only from Afla, like her answers properly structured and sent. The others are now responding also. Please be responsive. We have a little more to go. Okay. Yes, then successfully we are done with 10 questions. Can we have a round of applause? Wait, I have to react to this. Okay, I'm just clapping to everybody. Good job, everyone. 10 questions is not a small thing. It's 50 marks. So can I just have, a personal message of how much you have got out of 50? I'll just give you 5, no, 2 minutes to just calculate how much you have got out of 50 for now. Yes, because I'm not going to the next set of question until before we do two things and finish. So one is your marks. I just need a small heads up on what is happening with you all personally. I think no one marks. Guys, come on. I need it has to be like conversing and we have to cooperate. I need a mark to see how you all have been doing for the past 2 hours. Okay, I'll wait. Very good, Abdul Rahman. Sorry. Tariq, very good. That's all. What happened? The others didn't do. He got caught. I wanted everyone to do. Very good, Afla. Okay. So next, according to each of your marks, can you all do a bit of coloring? Let's just relax a bit because you've been questions and you all have been under pressure, timing. So we're gonna color, and I will also color alongside because I also have answered now. So yes, I give you like 5 minutes. Let's do the coloring. At least with your pencil shade. So yeah, it's kind of harder coloring it. Is everyone coloring? Can I have thumbs up? 2 more minutes. Let's see if you can color more than me in these 2 minutes. One more minute, huh? No more color. Right. Okay. So, did you all color more than me? I told you shade, ignore color pencils. Right. Let's move back to our question number 11. So we have a new challenge here. You all are having time reduced to 2 minutes, and you all are not going to answer the first question, that is about the poem name and the author. You are not going to answer for the discussion. When discussing, you all can write down the answer for that. But you all are going to do B, C, and D within 2 minutes. Okay? So your time starts now. If at least one person finishes, I'll go for discussion. No one. Time up. Did you all answer the three questions? I reduced work, so I hope I answered. Anyways, what's this poem again? So it's again from the same poem, Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Okara. So I don't have to tell you how to mark the first question. You can just get the reference from the previous one. What feeling or tone is conveyed in these lines? Anyone? What feeling or tone was conveyed in these lines? Yes, nostalgic and regret. So he was going through reminiscing his memories of having that true feelings, true laugh, true smiles at his time, and now he regrets living in a society like this, where there's nothing is true, everything is just fake. So you can mention about nostalgic and regret. If you have mentioned both, also you can give 1 mark. Any one also you can give, but please properly explain. Sarcasm, no. Sarcasm isn't an answer because he's not being sarcastic here. He is putting out his emotions out honestly. Okay. What theme of the poem is highlighted through these lines? So obviously sincerity with adulthood and loss of innocence. So whatever that was there, this thing which felt beautiful, which felt nice, is no more. So even it's like you conquer something that was happening really good, and you make it do your own way. You make a child not be a child anymore, something like that. So loss of innocence and sincerity with adulthood is because he's a big man now, and he's able to accept it and tell it to his son, come forward and explain that his situation is such. So that sincerity comes on when you grow up. When you're small, you don't understand that okay, this is happening will be true, because we try to fit in into a society. But when you're a big person, you understand that you have to put in you first. So that happens when you are an adult. Okay. So you can continue to mark. I'm just looking at the answers meanwhile. Okay. Disappointed and humiliated. Disappointed, yes. Humiliated, he was not humiliated by any situation. He was sad. The entire tone is that he is regretful, he is saddened by the situation. So you can't tell humiliated because no one embarrassed him to any situation. Okay? Appearances versus reality is a good theme, not a tone or a feeling. Okay? I wanted to see. Yeah, good theme. Appearances versus reality is good. Humiliated is wrong. The question, why are these lines important to the overall message of the poem? Very important because this is what he wants to go back to. This is what he yearns deep down. I wish I could have that back, and he wished that his son could have it back, right? He wishes his generation could have it back. So that is the overall message. So the poet's desire to return with genuine human emotions, because he's been living for a quite while about on under this scenario, under this perception of being like this. So now he wants to get out of it and have that genuine feelings back. So that is the overall message of the poem. Show the influence of the Western culture on the father's subject long as highlighted. He's adapted to the way of society according to culture. Correct, 2 marks, Afla. So if you have mentioned about returning to back to no, returning to the old times, 1 mark, and you can also mention about the poet's desire to have it. What do you say? I forgot what I explained. Okay, so you can tell about returning to his genuine human emotions and how much he has missed it and how much he wants it for his future. Okay, you to mention both the points. Elaborate it. I didn't elaborate. I just wrote down the important parts that I need to tell you all. That's all I have done. I didn't elaborate. Okay. If you all are done, we can go to the next poem. You can start now. Same rules, huh? Start. Time up. Okay. Can someone tell me the poem name and the poet's name? Yeah, very good. Richard Corey by. Hello. No. Taking you to your textbook. Richard Corey is not by Raymond Wilson. Richard Corey is written by Edwin Arlington Robinson. See your spellings. Okay. What does the phrase cursed the bread reveal about feelings? So, according to me, it reveals people's bitterness, frustration, and about them being poor, the dissatisfaction that whatever we do, how much ever we do, it's not enough, but we still have to, like, live a poor life. That's my point of view about cursed bread. Now, this phrase is very important. This is a crucial question, also. Can I have your thoughts about this phrase? What you have written? Okay. Anyone else? Where are the ones who are replying? Everyone asleep now. I think we were in this together. So please respond. Hello. Can I have responses, please? What does cursed bread mean to you? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I've got a response. Let's see. Deep dissatisfaction, frustration, and lack of gratitude. Correct. 1 mark. Right. Anyone else? No, no? Okay. That's the time I can give for it. What mood is created through these lines? Misery, hardship, hopelessness. Again, because they give up every single day, like at the end of the day, they give up. I should read this poem again. Yes. This is a nice poem about, contrasting poor and rich life. They see Richard Corey to be someone who's very rich, so he has to be happy just because he has money, he has food on his table, he has, like, all the luxuries. The poor people who live on the pavement, work day and night, they think that he's supposed to have a happy life. But even rich people have their own side of helplessness, sorrow, and stuff. So at the end of this line, when they say that Richard Corey went home and put a bullet through his head, it proves that not everyone is having a good life. And the poor can't just think, they have to be grateful for the life that they're living, maybe because the life with wealth in them, the life that they're having, the the I'm sorry, the life that they're having, and maybe it doesn't have wealth, but it still has happiness, it has food, it's giving them what they need. The life is having that, and they have to be happy. Maybe Richard Corey's life didn't have the happiness that the poor had, because if they didn't, if the poor, they thought that their life is that misery, they could have gone and taken their life, right? Like just how Richard Corey did, but they didn't. So they really, like, they were hanging on to life, but they didn't want it because they were comparing themselves to a person they don't know about. That's the entire concept. You just compare. We keep on comparing ourselves to somebody where we at a point lose ourselves. This even applies to what you're going to do now, your exam. It's a bit out of context. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Like when you're sitting in the exam hall, when you see the person next to you writing very fast, without a full stop, you see that person and don't panic. That's the stupidest thing we do. We panic, oh, this person is writing so much, we don't have anything to write. No. What you know, that person doesn't know. Think like that and you continue your work. And yeah, don't keep turning your head around. So Richard Cory's poem, written by Edwin Arlington Robinson, it actually gives a good example as to what you are going to do next month too. So hope that was clear. And yes, what kind of life do the speakers lead? I explained again. They led a poor, hardworking life, believing that hardship continues and they have to keep striving for everything. Yeah, a difference between mood, tone, and effect. Mood is the mood of the speaker of the poem at that situation. Tone is his speaking tone. Mood is different, speaking is different. No, mood is like how your head works. I am in a stressful mood now. Your tone will be like very dull when you're stressed. That's the difference. Effect is what kind of an effect it's giving on the situation. A positive, negative, or maybe like uh, not being able to decide what the speaker is trying to bring out, hypothetical effect, all of those are there. So I hope you got the answer for that question. Okay. So as I told you, this is the answer for the D1. This is the only answer. If you have mentioned about leading a poor, hardworking life, believing that hardship continues and they have to keep thriving to attend their basic needs. If you have written keep thriving, hardship continues, hardworking life, basic needs, 2 marks. 4 points, 2 marks. If you have mentioned any 2 points, 1 mark. And if you feel like I can give a mark, I can give 2 marks for your answer, send me the answer. Okay? Yes, so with that, we are finishing the poem section. We have questions like 8 more questions to do, but we don't have enough time. We have 1 more question, and I have to do process with you all, process and drama. I'm stopping the poems there. You all have to do the remaining, maybe like a trial at home. Keep 5 minutes time and do it. And I will send the answer script to the group so you all can check your answers. And if you all have any doubts, you have my number in the group also. You can text me and ask if the answer is right. And yeah, that's about it. The poem. And the third poem which I wanted to tell, which I like the most, is Upside Down. Because after a lot of conflicts, war and stuff, that one poem made me laugh when studying. So I like the poem Upside Down as well. Right. So we are moving on to our next section, process and drama. Okay, so this I got a lot of comments from Lumber Room. Most of you have wanted Lumber Room explanation. So that I will be doing day 2. All the explanation, everything is given to day 2. Because novel, I'm not going to be explaining the entire thing. You will be giving a summary of each of the novel. Uh, yes, I did vendor of sweets for my exams. And how many of you all did vendor of sweets? Can I have raise your hand so that I can pick out which novel I have to like mainly do. Who are doing vendor of sweets? Okay. Can you all put your hands down, and the ones who are doing Prince and the Pauper, put your hand up. Prince and the Pauper? Okay, no one for Prince and the Pauper. Then Bringing Tony Home. No one for any other 2 novels? Because I didn't get all the hands up for Vendor of Sweets either. Okay, anyways, I'll be doing all 3. We'll be most probably writing an essay, and I'll be explaining the overall story and how to write your essays. And we'll be writing about learning about the poems and the doubts you have asked me. And in this course of time before Monday, if you all have more other doubts with regard to theory parts, you all can text me. I will prepare something for it also. So yes, now we're going to start prose and drama. We are not going to go for timing and stuff. I'm going to explain it. So I'm going to keep talking for the rest of like 50 minutes. You have to keep listening. Right. So prose and drama, you have four proses, two dramas, and for all four proses are really nice. Lumber Room is a bit hard to understand, but it's nice. And drama, I'm not a big fan of both the dramas, but it's okay. Okay. So first, tell me which prose do you like the most? Let's just start with an interesting question. Which prose do you like the most? Can I have an answer? Lumber Room. Okay. Others, where are the others? I'm gonna call out names now. Lahore Attack. Oh, nice. I liked it too. Babe is also nice. Both Sri Lankan incidents. So much patriotism. Okay, what else? Nightingale and the Rose. Okay, interesting. Come on, y'all have been studying for 2 years. Y'all have to have any favorite. Lahore Attack. I got another Lahore Attack. Then okay, nice. You all have been studying for 2 years. You all have favorites. It's very important to have favorites. Like, see, now I'm telling you all my favorites sitting here. So it's very important to have favorites on what you're studying. For me, personally, I like Lahore Attack the most. And Wave, yes, because I did a bit of research. Like, after studied about Wave, I went and, like, research. So, yes. First prose we have is Nightingale and the Rose, and I have 20 questions just summarizing the entire story. So over here, we are highlighting the scene where the nightingale is in the process of making the red rose. Okay. So you know how the nightingale agrees to sacrifice its own life to make the red rose, and you know how it is going to cost the life that it has to, prick the thorn, pierce the thorn against its heart, and how the blood is the one that's going to contribute in making the red rose. So this is the main scenario where the plot, like how the entire story is built around. So that is why I have given this scene. So who is the main character in this scene and what is she trying to do? We know the main character is the nightingale is the main character, and she's trying to make a red rose, uh, thinking that the student's love is true. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? Thumbs up, please. Right. Okay. Because if I keep talking, sometimes I feel like none of you are listening. So keep, giving a thumbs up and everything. Right. Okay. Then, what's the next question? Why does the nightingale decide to sacrifice her life? So she doesn't have to, but why does she? Can someone tell me? Write down the answers, huh? He doesn't have to go and do it. Okay, she doesn't have to go and give her life for some boy who's crying. But why did she want to give? These are provoking questions, so you should know to answer. Tell me, please. I need an answer from someone. Only then I'll move forward. Because she thinks finding true love is more than life. Correct? She said after washing out the boy. No. So she decided to sacrifice her love because she believed in true love. life because she believed in true love, and she wanted the boy to prove his love also. So that is why she decided to sacrifice her life. So you have to write that entire thing. She decided to sacrifice her life because she believes in true love, and she wants to help the boy to prove his love, not because she felt bad. I mean, she felt bad partly, but this was the real reason. Hope you'll have written that. Moving on to the next question. What does the red rose symbolize in the story? Yes, anyone who knows what red rose symbolizes? Very good, Afra. Sorry, Afla. I'm sorry. Afla. True love. It symbolizes true love, sacrifice, and passion. True love, sacrifice, and passion. Okay. What does the what does the nightingale do with her wings in this scene and heart in this scene? Tell me. Can someone tell me? What does the nightingale do with her wings and the heart in this scene? What happens? I'm asking what happens in this scene. Can I have responses from others also? Or shall I call out by the name? Okay, so basically what happens is that she presses her breast against the thorn, allowing it to pierce her heart while she sings until she dies. Wrong answer, Afla. Thing is, we are telling what is she doing for the red rose. So she's pressing her breast against the thorn, allowing it to pierce her heart while she sings until she dies. This is the answer. Next question. How does the student react when he receives the rose? So this is one scenario where, like, as readers, all of us get mad because you see something that can't talk much, is like has only five senses, is logically thinking, is sacrificing its own life to prove that boy's love, and when he gets what he wants, he doesn't care because it was not his effort, so he didn't understand the value of that flower. So if the nightingale had knew this, it wouldn't have done. It just saw the love, but it didn't see if it was true also. It thought it was true. It didn't know it was true though. That's two different things. Knowing and thinking is two different things. So it was also at a point too innocent to give away its life for the boy, and the boy, after receiving the flower and knowing it was like, okay, he didn't know how it was, but he was not having any acceptance or grateful to that thing that he got. Even in that kind of a climate, he's got a red rose. He's a person. If he's a person who's logically thinking, should have thought, right? So the student rejects the rose, calling it useless and choosing logic over love. That's the answer. He thinks it is purely his luck. Yes, he names it on his luck. Correct, Afla. So first of all, the student rejects the rose, calling it useless. I mean, the calling love useless. Okay, and choosing logic over love. Next question. What does this scene reveal about the Nightingale's character? So, obviously, her selflessness, her belief in true love, and how kind she is, how generous she is. Okay? So, you can include all of those points. I hope you all are writing. Next, G part. How does Wild is the author's name, use this scene to show the contrast between true love and selflessness? So you know that sacrifice of life for love versus selfish dismissal of the sacrifice. So that's going to be your theory here. I'll write down the theme. Okay. Sacrifice of life for love versus selfish dismissal of the sacrifice. You're supposed to explain this theme. How come this sacrifice came in and how the selfish dismissal happened? Then you will get the mark. Now this I am not giving into 5 minutes. You will get 5 minute questions on in this also. Okay. But I gave it as a comprehensive, part for you to explain the entire story in 10 questions. This is what I've done. Okay. And I've explained the entire story in these 10 questions. Not very deeply, but yes. Okay. Okay. Then next, how does the Nightingale sacrifice reflect the theme of selflessness? How she gave her life over an immature love, believing it to be a true love and not expecting anything in return. Very important that she did not expect anything in return. You have to mention this. That she gave her life for an immature love, not knowing if it is true and not expecting anything in return. Are you guys following? Yes. Very important. Okay, hope you all have written. Okay. Then next question. Explain the scene in your own words. What happens and why is it important to the story? This you have to send me the answer. Now I'll give you 2 minutes. Type it out because you are not going to write. First type it out, and if I tell if it's right, you can write it on your cue. Quickly type it out. 2 minutes to think. Make sure you write the root words. Quickly, guys. We have to do one more prose at least. Everyone type out.
जमी से
Why am I not getting any answers? I'm waiting for the answers, okay? I didn't give you a break. Why am I not getting responses? Is it so long for you all to type? 1 minute more. Hmm. Okay. Almost okay, Nafha. Okay, yes. So if you all have mentioned about, I'm asking you to explain the scene, so you don't have to tell out any other meaning. So you have to tell like how the he she sings until she dies with the thorn piercing her heart, and she does this for a rose, and not it's not for herself but for somebody else. If you have mentioned all of these, you will get your mark. Then last question. Identify one symbol or literary device used in this scene and explain its significance. Symbolism is used. Thorn, it symbolizes pain and sacrifice. Okay, so writing that. Is that clear to everyone? That prose, like, do you all have an idea of the prose Nightingale and the rose? Does everyone have an idea? Everyone, they're almost done. So please, can I have response? There are the others who are responding. All of them gone. Perfect answer, Afla. Right. Where are the others? Did everybody understand? Okay. Then we'll be doing one more prose to finish off it. That's your favorite one, the Lahore attack. Based on that, Lahore attack was written by Kumar Sangakkara. So you have to know how to write about that. And don't worry, you'll be doing a revision with me about the names and poem before we completely finish with the series. So yes, this scenario is the entire plot where they have been shot, they attacked. That is the plot for the entire prose. So that is what I have taken here, the scene to explain how they overcame and how they handled and aftermath of this entire situation. Who are the main people involved in this scene? So better not mention Kumar Sangakkara's name. I know he has specifically said I in the prose, but just mention the cricket team, Sri Lankan cricket team, and maybe the bus driver. They are the people who are involved in this scene because they are the ones who attacked. Okay, what happens during the Lahore attack? A team of Sri Lankan players who went for a match series there were attacked by the terrorists who started firing the bus, injuring players and threatening lives. Very important, you have to mention about threatening lives, and you have to mention about injuring players because that was the goal of the terrorists. No? So you mention about terrorist attack also. Okay, did you finish writing? Can you give me a thumbs up? Write about terrorists attacking, injuring the players, threatening lives. Okay. Yes, I hope you are done. How do Sangakkara and other cricketers react to the attack? So they did panic, but they remained calm. Like at the panic in the sense that's what basically our sensitive system, how we react. That reaction was only there from the team. Okay, because they know that they were being shot one by one, but they made sure they remained calm, possessed, alert, and cooperative. Meaning, which word is terrorist? Or you can tell gunmen also to avoid conflicts. Yes, you can tell gunmen. Yes, or men armed with guns, something like that. Gunmen. Then okay. So they made sure that their team players were safe. So the ones who are not attacked were safeguarding the ones who are attacked. Even in that commotion, they were being alert, like on what side of the bus the bullets are coming in, to make sure that they are not hit. And they were not panicking and making any, they were not trying to get out of the bus, or they were not putting their heads up. So they were calm, and they were as a team, not only on the field like they were playing together, but in that bus also, to control the situation. They were being very cooperative with each other by at the point they were listening to what somebody was saying, and that's how they escaped from the situation. If not, they would have just stayed there, and most probably all of them would have got attacked. Okay. So I think this scene, it was taken in a recent movie, like how the Lahore attack happened, and it actually showed what we read, like it showed in a visual properly. Ma'am, is there a limit or all the appropriate quotations with so a limit in the sense prose, if you limit your writing to 4 to 5. Now for poems I told 5 to 6. Now for prose, if you have 4 to 6, 4 to 5, and if you can write like one liner and explain the entire scenario, that's perfect. Because we can't remember each and every line that's coming. But if you can learn the significant lines or dialogues of a person to write the essay and explain it, use the three dots. That's the trick, because what those three dots mean, right? So if you put these three dots, it means that you're continuing with the story. If you put it at the beginning, you're mentioning something that is there previously, and you're writing what you know, and then again you're putting these dots, which means you're mentioning that it continues to the entire paragraph. Am I clear, or did I stuck somewhere? Was I lagging? No, right? Can I have a response, please? Okay, no one's responding. I hope you all understood what I was trying to say about the scenario. Understood. Okay, man, will limit. Okay, done. I understand. Answer all the questions. We are in question D. What details show the suddenness and the danger of the situation? What happened to know that everything happened all of a sudden, and how dangerous it was? One is bullets being hit, and I think the bus driver was harmed. A few of the cricketers they mentioned by name, they were harmed. So that showed how dangerous it is, because it was life threatening. We could have lost our players, and then chaos breaks out instantly. And yeah, the chaos is broken instantly because the bus is blocked. It can't go anywhere else. It is in the middle of the attack. So that is the chaos that was broken. So you can write bullets hit the bus, players were injured seriously, and chaos breaks out instantly. Okay, if you all have answers, please put yes. Understand? It was like rain on a tin roof. Yes, exactly. They could hear the sound like as if the droplets were falling on a tin roof. The bullets were that fast, quick. It just kept on coming, and they had to be very careful about how they're going to survive. They had a belief that they will go out alive, and they had to make sure they took that belief till the end. Then I think we have a few more ideas. What does this scene reveal about the location and environment during the attack? That when our cricket team goes to another, or anything goes to another country for a play, they're supposed to be given a full protection, because you don't know what type of it not only terrorist attack, it can be anything, what kind of an attack they'll be facing. So, considering the Lahore attack, the area was unsafe for them. It was dangerous. So, until the players reached Sri Lanka, there was no rest, like maybe for their family members, and as as fans, yeah, exactly, violent and unsafe. As people who love cricket, who want their players to not be harmed, the entire country, maybe it had a black flag day. I don't know. I don't remember anything happening on under my consciousness, but I'm telling this would have been the situation at that time. So as players, they also might have been feeling very unsafe in a foreign country, and it's like this. So you have to keep visiting that country. You have to keep visiting Pakistan to play. So if this situation happened, it also had a bad name on the country in the world area. Like when they come together as countries of the world, Pakistan also had a bad name. So unsafe, chaotic, dangerous. Okay. Then, how does this scene show Sangakkara's leadership or courage? So Sangakkara, he showed good leadership qualities. He remained composed despite being injured and focuses on survival. So he was also injured, but he didn't. He was hit, but he was not panicking, because even when you panic, you out to lose blood, and you go to a critical situation. So he was being composed, trying to like safeguard himself and his peers somehow out of this situation. That was his thing. What does the scene suggest about human reactions in dangerous situation? So not only them, but on a common view, it made people, like even us, when we are in that kind of a situation, we should make sure that we are focused on what is happening, not panic and shout and run here and there. Think of what is our next action plan and work for that, even if it's under an extreme threat. Okay, guys, am I clear? All good? Okay. How does this moment highlight themes of bravery, teamwork, and resilience? So I told you how they were supporting each other, like, and also like after being hurt, you're mentally depressed, you're in a mental trauma, and how the cricketers were coming and they were making fun jokes to make the hurt ones laugh, and you know they were being very empathetic, like cheering up on each other, and that's how they supported their mental trauma. Okay, explain the scene in your own words. What happens and why is it significant to the narrative? So this explanation is there in the prose. You have to write how the bus was attacked, what happened when the bus was being attacked, and how they escaped. This is what you mean by explaining the scene. What happens and why is it significant in the narrative is because it showed unity and team spirit regardless of the situation. That's what team spirit really means. And for the final question, if they ask what what is the only literary device that you can get out of this is imagery, because you can sit and like you can run the entire scene in your head, like just you can just close your eyes and see how the bus is caught between three different vehicles and it's being shot directly, and the players are struggling here and then. If you know the players, like if you've seen their faces, like across social media, and if you know the players by name, and if you're a cricket fan, of course, you can literally like understand the scenario completely. That is why we go through the imagery here. That's the literary device, best one that we can go for. And this makes the danger vivid and increases tension for the reader, because when you're reading, this is a bigger story, okay? So when you're reading, it increases your curiosity to know about this more, like what happened, like every detail of it. So yes, this is the entire pros about Lahore attack. So this is the final part for the day. Can now everybody respond if you all understood or not? At least now, can everyone respond together, please? Everyone, please. Right. Okay. So I think everyone's just done. Okay, well understood. Thank you for responding. Nafa and Afla have been active for the past 1 hour. No one else responding to messages or my questions. I hope you'll understood, because I want you all to respond, not because I am bored or I feel like, something. I want you all to understand. I want that, that satisfaction that you all have understood the entire concept that I've been teaching for the last 3 hours. So that is our first session, and we will wind up for the day. So hope you will be joining for the next session as well. I hope it will be more interesting also. I make it. I try my best. And if you all have any doubts, you can contact me personally and ask the doubts. I'm free anytime, available to ask. If you all have any clarifications to do. Okay. So I'll see you all on Monday, inshallah, on the 26th for another wonderful session. Bye, everyone. Study well. Bye.